Hey, Michelle.
Hi, how are you doing?
Good, thank you. Michelle, tell folks a little bit about you, and then I have a question where I'm going to set up a hypothetical scenario for us.
Great. Well, I am a fractional CMO. I have about 25 years of experience on the inside of both high tech and healthcare companies. I hung my shingle out a couple of years ago after I realized that there was a big demand for companies that are in that growing phase that are kind of outgrowing their DIY efforts, but also can't really afford a whole team of marketing support. They're not really at that $500,000 point where you need to hire some people. And so I can fit that really good sweet spot where I bring a full marketing suite to them and can I help them get to that next rung.
All right, then here's my hypothetical for you. Today's day one. You've just started a brand new engagement with a new client. It's going to last a year. It can be relatively long for a fractional CMO. This one's a year long. All right. So you're looking at the first 90 days. What do you typically see as sort of the worst problem when you show up with your clients that you need to address?
Typically, the website's a hornet's nest. I mean,
Uh,
it's kind of the immediately day one. It's like, what are you out with? It's terrible. And sometimes the website leads to a whole rabbit trail of other places where they need some support. Maybe they don't really have a brand style kit. They don't really know what their why is. They don't have a strong message platform. So typically their digital platform or their social media has been dead for a month.
mhm.
I'll see a lot of things in their digital assets pretty immediately that we kind of have to address right away.
Okay. Samy, hi. Nice to see you.
Hi, Dean. How are you?
Good, thank you. Okay, so tell folks a little bit about you, and then I want to ask you um, a version of that question that's a little darker.
So my name is Samy. I'm 39 years old. I'm a top-rated SEO specialist. I worked with Fortune 500 companies in the US, in Europe,
Mhm.
and also with startups as well. I am also a fractional CMO, so I take care of SEO and so many other channels, as you may imagine, because demand is global, and what I do is generally I intervene for like some periods of months to a few years for companies that are getting structured in terms of marketing. Sometimes they have already some people, sometimes they do not. But my goal is always to be able to have a deeper strategy and to get the wheel rolling so that there is something that is really in place when I leave.
All right, I've changed my mind. I don't want to go darker. I want to go nicer. So, when
Me too.
you
Me too.
show up day one working with a new client, um,
Mhm.
is there anything that you are typically pleasantly surprised by that they already know how to do or they're already doing okay? What do most companies sort of do an okay job of even before a fractional CMO shows up? Or is there just nothing that they're doing
What I generally see is they know what they don't want. So,
right? Oh, that's good.
yeah, because they don't necessarily know who are their ICP, who are the people they're really targeting, because they have like an idea of their ideal clients, but sometimes it's not really who they really uh, target. I mean, they don't have those kind of ideal clients as real clients, but they have enough experience of failures to know exactly what they
Right.
don't want, and it helps me a lot figuring out part of the strategy.
Right. Well, that's a good one. Okay. I hadn't heard that before. Okay. So, Sammy, let's stay with our hypothetical client and scenario for a second, except now I'm the CEO of the client company. Okay. And I'm looking at you. It's day one. We're having our meeting on day one. And I say, all right, so I'm going to be honest with you now. I appreciate that you work with a lot more CEOs than I'm ever going to work with CMOs.
Mhm.
So, as CEO, is there something I should stop doing now so that we get the maximum value out of the money we're going to be spending on you?
Yeah, there is something you should stop doing is actually really more about not trying to apply some practices that you think are good
Mm-hmm.
because some friends told you about, or these are things that you tried 10 years ago. This is really something that I see pretty much in every job that I get. The CEO has tried some things a few months back or a few years back for, I don't know, like SEO, Facebook, you name it.
Right.
Obviously, the strategy is outdated, but since he had good results back then for this strategy, he tries to tell you, like, you should do this. And obviously, it's not going to work. So please just let me try to update the practices with new knowledge. So this way, we are at the same point and we can start fresh.
Okay, that's good. Uh, so, Michelle, I'm going to ask you the inverse of that question.
Great.
I'm the CEO. You've worked with lots of CEOs. I've worked with very few CMOs, and I'm likely to in my life because it's just you're. So, what should I, as CEO, start doing now so that the company gets maximum benefit out of you being here?
The number one gold mine that most CEOs I've worked with overlook is their happy customers. When they have really happy customers, that's a gold mine for marketers because now we can tell a story that kind of helps seed that herd mentality to find other customers. Most CEOs I see kind of follow on. Most CEOs I see, they kind of make the mistake of saying, "Oh, I need to run a Google ad campaign and I've got $500 a month."
Okay.
It's sad, but they think that's going to be their end all be all. And I'm like, you don't realize how hard it is for a cold lead that you don't know to come into your universe and now trust you to spend 50, 75,000, $1 million with you. That's very hard nut to crack. I said, we need to go more concentric circles around your happy customers now. How do we go around those where they live, where they breathe? Let's look at that. Let's tap with the resources we have and don't take
Right.
your eye off the ball because an unhappy customer also is a really hard thing to overcome, especially when they go public about their unhappiness with you. So
Mm.
most CEOs I see are too obsessed with the shiny new object versus taking care of their employees, taking care of their customers, and realizing that that's the gold mine they need to really work on.
All right, that's good. Okay, so I've got some fill in the blank questions. I really like these because there's virtually no work for me. All the work has been pushed onto you guys, so it's very great for me. You don't. It's not like a one word answer. Answer with the answer that is complete as it needs to be. But Michelle, so just finish this sentence for me. Many clients just don't understand what.
Many clients just don't understand how much effort goes on the back end of setting up a successful program.
Mm,
Most clients have zero idea how much goes into setting up a website. They just think I can wave a magic wand. They have zero idea how to run a media relations campaign. They think I just write a press release and it gets picked up everywhere. And we've got the Wall Street Journal calling tomorrow. It doesn't work like that. So, and that's okay. That's why they're hiring me is because they know they don't know how it works. But at the same time, it sometimes you have to educate the client a little bit in the process so they can understand that these things take time and you have to build on the success versus just saying, okay, we're going to try this next week and then we're done. I'm like, that's not the way that's not the way any marketing program works. It's a long game of strategic Chinese water torture.
And Sammy, how about you? Most clients just don't understand what.
Time needed. I'm gonna like just reduce the number of words. Time needed to really, put something in place, and conceive something genuine and original and different and really that works. Time needed for A/B testing. Time needed to figure out like a formula for marketing to work for at least a few months, because at some point you're going to get better reputation, more clients, more things to do, um, more orders to proceed, something like that. So strategy will change, but at least for a few months, we need time to figure out like the right strategy, the right formula. And it's really the iceberg concept. There is all that kind of work underneath the water, and like outside the water, there is just this tiny bit of success, tiny bit of things that you come up with to your CEO, and that it's like a PowerPoint document where you have all your ideas and everything that you need to do for like a few months. But there is lots and lots of tests that need to be done, and also time needed, because it's not because you have like a failure of 1% one day that it's a complete failure. It's something that takes time, and I can tell that in SEO or Google Ads, for example. If there is like a decrease, you need time, because you need to figure out if it's temporary, if it's like something that is really longer than you thought.
Mhm.
So really time needed.
Okay, Samy, let's set up a different scenario. Okay, you're
Mm-hmm.
on stage, you're the speaker.
Oh, great.
Everyone in the audience, all 208 of them, they all became fractional CMOs last week.
Okay.
Finish this sentence. You guys, starting out right now, are going to be shocked by what?
You guys are going to be shocked by the way things change quickly.
Mm.
And more. I think that as a CMO, there are new shiny things, new shiny objects coming up every day, new trends, new products, new marketing channels, new practices. It's a shock to see so many things like coming up every day, especially with AI. And what I would say is like you're going to be shocked by the amount of new things, and you got to stick to your basics, to what works. And once you find what works, just double down on it. Don't try to chase any new things that look like, oh, that's so great. No, just it works. Okay, just double down on it until
Right.
like you found another thing that may be an addendum, an addition to what you do, but just try to find the right formula first, and then you'll see.
And Michelle, how about you? You're looking at all these fractional CMOs. They have no idea what they're in for as a fractional CMO, right? And you say to them, more than anything, I think you guys are going to be super surprised by what?
Um, Well, I'll say two things. One, how much you're needed. Fractional CMOs, there's a need in the marketplace for us because there are a lot of companies that are in that growth mode, or organizations that just need some help that they can't hire. So that you're going to be shocked how much you're needed. One, but you're also going to have to realize you're measured by your results every day. You're not on the payroll anymore. You don't have time and the
Right.
luxury of just there and thinking, oh, I can just, coast. There's no coasting.
No.
So you're always hustling. So if you don't like to hustle, you might need to rethink being a fractional CMO because we hustle every single day.
uh, so you guys have alluded to some things in your answers before, so I want to zero in on them. So Michelle, how about this? As you talk with clients and as you talk with prospects and just other companies, like in the field of marketing, like what in as far as clients and companies are concerned, what's overrated right now? What
Google
do people want
AdWords.
to talk about? What's overrated when you're like, this guy's like, this is not as good as you think
Huh?
it is?
What did he say, Dean? I'm sorry.
What's overrated among the people that you're talking to, and you think, no, no,
Definitely Google AdWords.
yeah,
People they think that they're going to get a great thing with it. They want to know all their keyword searches. It's nauseating how much people think Google AdWords are going to save their business, and it's just not going to happen. Especially when you only have $500 a month to spend. So,
and what's underrated?
um, the value of your current customers
Yeah,
and really leaning into your employees and valuing them. So your employees are your next biggest champion to your customers. And so a lot of times people overlook that. They take their employees for granted. They take their team for granted. And that's an untapped resource.
and Sammy, when you're talking to clients and prospective clients, right? What do they talk about where like they're really putting too much emphasis on something that doesn't deserve it? What's overrated among the stuff that they're talking about?
Tool stack, I would say.
Yeah.
They wanna have, like, they think they can sometimes, not all of them, for sure, but some of them, they think they can replace people by tools.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really a problem because there are features, but it's not the same thing as understanding people, understanding a company, understanding your product, and using a tool just to, I don't know, create content, taking care of ads, generating campaigns, all that kind of thing. And it can save you some time, sure, but it won't replace somebody understanding what you do in a great way.
Right.
And about what's underrated,
Yeah.
I would say, um, and it's going to be maybe something that is unusual, but I would say close your computer, take some time off, think about everything that you know about the company and how you would figure out how to talk to people. So if you were in the street and you were talking to your client, what would you do? You would just like go to him and sell the product right away? What would you do? You would ask some questions. You would try to know him better. You would try to get him accustomed to who you are first. So I think sometimes it's a good way to, take a step back and then trying to figure out a solution. I know that as a fractional CMO and companies in general, they don't have time. We need to figure out solutions right away.
Right.
But trust me, sometimes you need to take a few hours, take a step back, and that's sometimes the key to figure out the right way to think.
Okay. A little bit more of a pivot, Sammy. So, do you have any advice for fractional
Mhm.
CMOs, no matter how long they've been in the business? Do you have any advice or things you'd want to point out to them about getting clients, connecting with the right potential customers, let's say?
Do not underestimate yourself. That's the first thing. Where at any step of your career, you can tell yourself, "I'm too expensive. I'm too old. I'm too this. I'm not enough this,
Mm-hmm.
and everything else. I don't know the trends. I don't know the products. I don't know what works." Well, you have experience. You know people, and you've had successes in the past. So I think that you should not underestimate yourself because since you've had successes, it is worth something.
Right.
And what I see with colleagues as CMOs, as STOs, or professionals, they would downgrade somehow their offer to be more like to be less expensive, to add more elements to their offer, that kind of thing. And they will accept some clients that really are difficult. And so it's easier. It's always the same thing. When you value yourself the right way, you find people that find the right person in you. And what happens is, and I'm happy about it. I stop judging myself too badly, and I try to have the right offer for my clients, have the right prices, and guess what? I'm attracting the people that I wanted. And so I think that this is the best thing that CMOs can do.
Plus, if you're the only person in the company, you are, by definition, the best person at that company. Should should
That's true.
bathe in that. And Michelle, how about you? Talking to fractional CMOs, and how do you get clients, and like what should I know, and what should I not do? Right? What kind of advice could you give some people?
For getting clients, my success has come from networking and working my own personal network, and having a pretty crystal clear elevator pitch in 30 seconds or less. I can tell somebody, at lunch or whatever, what I'm doing, and it's helpful. And it's the second thing is also kind of finding the needs, and I think that's one of those things. One of my more recent new clients. We were just talking at networking lunch and I went for a tour of their facility and I'm like, I don't know what I can do to help you, but I want to help you. I want to help you grow this because I believe in your mission. I believe in what you're doing. And lo and behold, all these things unfurled of what they needed. I was like, oh, I need this, I need this. And we got this big campaign coming up. We're lost. And I'm like, great. So it's kind of a see a need, fill a need, and see how you can add some value. What won't work is sitting at my computer all day trying to type up a bunch of anonymous emails to
Right.
people that I've never met. That's not going to work very well for me. Maybe it works for other people, so I don't want to. If that's your thing, go do it. But that's not my strategy for success.
No, that works for marketing led businesses. You guys are in sales led businesses.
Right.
People have to talk to somebody at some point.
Right.
Okay, so one of the interesting aspects of this podcast is that nobody knows until really the last second, because things get rescheduled, who's going to be in this podcast. And so, right? I mean, you pick your slot months and months in advance usually, but you don't know who the other person necessarily is. And so, what we're doing now is season 6 is we're letting each guest ask the other guest. I mean, theoretically, it just says ask another person. No one's ever asked me a question. So I'm not really like part of the subject for this, but ask the other guest any question you want about marketing, being a fractional CMO, anything you want. And so we'll start with Samy asking Michelle a question, and then we can switch back. It doesn't have to be the same
Yeah.
question, obviously. You know, make up your own.
Okay. Michelle, what do you think would be the thing that a fractional CMO like me should know? What's the one thing I should apply in 2025 that I wasn't doing in 2024?
Oh wow. Okay. Well, I'll say my success has been the networking. So I carve out the time for my networking events and I prioritize that. So if you're not doing that, that's a great gold mine, and you never know who you're going to meet and who knows who. So I think that's a great strategy for success. For me, it's pretty time tested, and you have a great personality. So I think you would network really well,
Thank you.
and people would go, oh, I have to learn more about you. So um, I do that if I were you.
Okay.
And
And
then my
Michelle,
question
how
for
about you?
you, though, is more selfish. So I want to know more about your SEO and your digital strategy stuff, because this is a need I sometimes run across for some of my clients. So I want to know more what you do on that side, because I mean, all of us, I think we all have our specialty niche.
Mm-hmm.
Like, while I
Mhm.
can do some things, I know there's some things I do really well, and some things I can do, but I don't. Yeah, it's all right. So, but I think, Samy, your specialty niche sounds like it's more the SEO stuff. So tell me more about that.
Well, yeah. I mean, you mean like in terms of trend or what I
Kind of just more what you do. Like, if you have a client, and not giving away your secret sauce, just more,
Mhm.
how would you approach that to help with rankings? Is that your specialty niche? Is that what you lead with
Yeah.
your service offering? Tell me more
Yeah,
about that.
because the most frequent context that I meet is people like they've tried a lot of things like Google ads, Facebook ads, like digital PR, so many things, and for some reason they didn't take the time or the budget to focus on SEO because obviously they started most of the time with ads because they wanted immediate ROI,
Mm-hmm.
and once they saw that it might work, they're like, okay, let's do this and we'll see the rest of marketing later. And at some point they're getting to a point where it doesn't work that much anymore, so they're focusing on SEO. So the way that I'm doing things is first to try to understand where they are, who they are, what they do, what is the product, what is the client, what problem does it solve. Because if you don't know your ICP, I won't be able to do anything in terms of SEO. You could jump right into keyword research and that kind of thing because that's what some people do, but that doesn't help me a lot. So that's the first thing that I'm trying to understand. What problem does the product or the service of the company solve? Then after this, we need to see where the website is. Does it have any problem? Is it okay in SEO wise? How is it organized? Does it address the right issues? Does it present the company the right way? All that kind of thing. What is the structure? Is it technically sane or not? Is there something that needs to be corrected? So that's the second thing. And after this, we need to define a plan. I will define a plan, an action plan, so that is having like a good technical foundation if it's not the case. That is also solving the problems in terms of content. So if you have existing content, maybe it doesn't rank for the right keywords, for the right elements. And also that will be created like a content strategy, because like I said, we know now what is the problem that you solve, what are the questions that people are typing related to your products, also what are the features that you want to highlight in your offer. So all that kind of thing will help me like creating new content. And I will start with, and I know it's not popular, with the bottom of funnel content, because this is where the money is. And I know that I get so many people telling me like, yeah, the search volume, I had this in the morning, the search volume is really low. Like I have 30, 50, 70 searches per month on one keyword. And I'm like, yeah, but among those 30, 50, 70 people, there will be 2, 5, 10, 70 clients. Whereas you can have like so many top of funnel keywords where you have maybe 20K people looking for that, but one client. So
Mm-hmm.
I start with this, and then, I go from bottom of funnel to top of funnel. And we try to address the first things, first thing first, money. And then once we're good at this, and then we move one step up, middle of funnel, and then one step up, top of funnel. So if I can give you a few words about what I do, that's what I do.
Makes sense to me. I love it.
Yeah. Okay, so guys, this has been fantastic. Thank you so much for being here. I don't know wind it down, but Michelle, like these days, who should be contacting you, and how should they get to you?
Who should be contacting me? My specialty has been healthcare and high tech. But then also anybody doing something innovative. They have a quality product, they have a quality service. Something that they're doing is working in the market, but they just are lost when it comes to marketing, and they need to get a step up. So that's who should contact me. If they're regionally based here in Dallas, that's helpful, but not necessary. One of my biggest client success stories was actually based in Baltimore. So, I can work virtually anywhere, as we
Right.
all can now. But that's who should contact me.
All right, and how?
You can reach out to me at my email address, Michelle at brightercoms with 2Ms.com,
Okay.
or on my LinkedIn profile, which is linked in my bio right there.
All right. And Sammy, how about you? Who should be contacting you these days, and what's the best way to get to you?
That would be companies who are like, who are mm, around, 500K to $1 million,
Mhm.
like revenue, and they want to, figure out a step up in their game in terms of marketing. And if that's for SEO, I would be, creating like a whole strategy for them, and something that is a no jargon strategy. So these are the people with whom I work, mostly in, I would say, 3, 4 niches. That would be B2B, and among B2B, that would be B2B SaaS. There is e-commerce also, because I have more and more requests on that. And also sometimes there are some enterprises coming to me for consulting purposes. And how to contact me? That can be my LinkedIn profile. So that's, you can type my name in LinkedIn, and also my website. It's my first name and my last name.com, samythuillier.com.
All right, sounds good. All right, guys, thank you both for being here. It was wonderful to have you, and thanks for watching, everyone. You're probably watching this in a clip, and so we'll see you in the next clip. Bye, everyone.